Welcome back to Cambler on Comics. I'm Cambler, and today we check out Star Trek X-Men. Oh shit. Star Trek X-Men. Marvel presents Paramount Comics. And this is a beautiful cover. I love this cover. You got Captain Kirk, you got Cyclops, you got the X-Men, Wolverine looking badass, Captain Kirk again, because he's that badass, Spock. They all just look amazing. And so, and a this is a beautiful. Oh, I'm speechless. But yeah, so this came out in '96. I remember seeing this as a kid, and as a huge original Star Trek fan, and an X Men fan, this sort of blew my mind. So I was like, I have to have this one. So yeah, I got it. It was quite expensive at the time. So it was a $4.95 US. So I can't remember how much it was in Australian, but not cheap. So yeah, it was celebrating the 30th anniversary of Star Trek in this special collector's issue. So I don't know how many collectors bought this because I don't think the value is massive, but it is a beautiful story. I quite enjoy this one, and I loved it as a kid, and just rereading it and love it now. So yeah, my copy is pretty good condition. I looked after this one, so I bought it brand new, so I didn't have any stamps like my previous ones, but yeah, Star Treks, and a lot of people, like writer Scott uh, Lobdell, did a great job on this one. It captures the characters really well of both the X Men and Star Trek. So, and a lot of people worked on this one. Pencils and the inks, colors. Wow. Okay, so we open up on the bridge of the Enterprise, and yeah, we have Spock. We'll be within visual range of the anomaly within 8.7 seconds, Captain. Once, Spock. Just once, I'll like you to round off to the nearest number. I love the interplay. It just beautifully captures the essence of the dynamic between Spock and McCoy, and yeah, Captain Kirk, gentlemen, not now, and just he's the arbiter. He's just in between the two, always. But it's a great shot here. Spock looking regal as he always does, McCoy, and yeah, the captain sort of relaxed in his chair, but he's very pensive view. He's got his resting his chin on his hands, and basically we have our captain's log that gives all the exposition. So basically, the Enterprise has returned to Delta Vega, the Federation quarantine planet where the ship lost two of its finest crew members, and I lost my best friend. So basically, we set up a story of the original pilot of Star Trek. So yeah, go back and watch that one. I recommend that. So, and wow, it's just amazing. That sorry, I just fanboy out for both Star Trek and the X Men, and this art is just wonderful. You got the Enterprise, the original Enterprise, the only one, and just this anomaly. So yeah, basically laying out the story. I don't know if you want me to read it all. My voice is pretty bad, but let me know in the comments if that's the case or not. But anyway, so we have Uhura, Captain Kirk. We're getting a subspace signal that's being blocked by the energy of that spatial rift. Sorry, I'm reading ahead at the same time. But yeah, we got Scotty. I can picture their voices when I'm reading it. Their shields are holding. So I can't do the Scottish accent. Wherever that thing is, the last will be ready. It's terrible. Sorry. Um, there are no other ships in the immediate quadrant, Captain. Captain. Maintaining a distance of 1 million kilometers from the center of the anomaly, sir. So you can hear the voices. The writing's so well done. I guess once you know the characters, as you have for the last 30 years or more now, it's easy to capture that essence of them. So we have Spock looking into his little gimmick and basically elaborating on the sentience of the anomaly. So yeah, we're on the bridge. Captain, I've isolated the signal from Huahora. Captain, there's something in there. Sorry, that was bad. It appears to be a distress signal, sir. It's being transmitted in a language that even the universal translator doesn't recognize yet. Captain, it's a ship. Bam! It just comes out, and yeah. So we continue on the exposition of the captain's log, and you see the concern on Spock's face, Mr. Spock. The shield sensors had penetrated the alien's craft hull only the instant before it exploded. There were 7 life forms on board. Sensors indicate near human readings. Near human, Spock? What the hell does that mean? They either were or they weren't. So there's McCoy interjecting as usual, and Spock being very, very logical about it. Look sharp, people. I don't want any more surprises. Perhaps one more, sir. And holy dooly, here's the Shi'ar craft. You can see the size and the scale compared to like the Enterprise and this bad boy. And for a desolate part of the galaxy, this neighborhood's getting pretty darn crowded. There's still this Federation space, and whoever is aboard that ship shouldn't be here. And, yeah, so they're aiming their weapons, but different technology. Lieutenant open hailing frequencies. No response, Captain. Captain, it appears they've fired a projectile at the ship. I assume. Straight off. A projectile. Alright. Now, man, that is such a great look of Gladiator. And look, it's just ripped, like the forearms are just massive. Just everything's just bold. Even through his even through his shoe, his little knee-high booties, his muscles are just bulging out. And yeah, it's just in the middle of space, just proclaiming the planet for the Shi'ar Empire. Which doesn't make any sense. Spock, is he talking to us? How, how is he existing in space? How can he speak in a vacuum? How is that possible? Quite simply, Captain, it is not. And yeah, you can see him lining up. And bam! No, you just imagine it like the 60s show, how the camera will lurch and everyone runs to one side. It's exactly how I picture it. Yeah, this is pretty much just like an episode, this one shot. Hey, Captain, and the lady damaged the ships. Sorry, I got to stop doing that. The part will be destroyed. This is your last warning. So yeah, we're still, Mr. Scott. How long before all the shields are up again? Only as long as it takes to get me to engineering. And get moving, Scotty. Aye, sir. And then we cut to Wolverine hiding in the air vent, Die Hard style. So now instead of like the exposition that we had with the captain's log, we get it all through Wolverine's thoughts. So he's, we figure out that we're on a ship and everyone's human except for Spock. And we cut back to Scotty. Odd. I know the ship like the back of my hand. It almost feels as if I'm being watched. And then this great shot of Wolverine just come out with the claws. He's got the bone claws here. And it just looks badass. He's just, I wish I could draw this good. I can't draw this good. But yeah, so then we come back. Wolverine's done his mission to check out where they are. And then we come back and we're introduced to the X-Men on the mission. So we've got Bishop, Phoenix, Cyclops, the Beast, Storm, and Gambit. Gambit's slumped down. You know that he's injured. There we go. It's an action shot of Wolverine in the silhouette. You can tell it's him, but it just looks so cool. More basically exposition. They've figured out what's going on or where they are, trying to piece together. So it's sort of piecing us together, throwing us in the story about how they become into this how Star Trek and X-Men collided. But that's a great shot of Wolverine, that profile. And yeah, so they figured out they're in on the Constellation class ship, and holy crap, we're in the year 2245. One mystery at a time, huh? So basically, Gambit's not in a good way, but we'll get him to sickbay. So now they've got to figure out their plan. So I'm using my mutant telepathic powers to search the ship and try and find a way off and down to this planet's surface. This way, we won't have to worry about being. Before I turn the page, just adding maybe just a quibble on me, but I'm using my mutant telepathic powers. Like, why do you have to tell Scott that you're using your mutant telepathic powers? Just say that, everyone sort of knows that they're X-Men. But maybe if you're a Star Trek fan and never heard of X-Men, sort of, maybe that's just a little quibble on my part. Uh, this way we won't have to worry about being detected. Uh-oh. Fascinating. Captain requests permission to leave the bridge. Right now, Spock? I believe it is vital. You would say I'm checking out a hunch. A hunch? How positively un-Vulcan. Yeah. I just love that interplay, and you can tell like the difference between the two. Everyone's sort of in action poses, superhero. They're all jacked, very pensive. Whereas we come back to the bridge, they're all very calculating and obviously very logical. And it's just that two different dynamics. And I love how they capture that. Basically, we come back to the point of view of the X-Men, more action. You see the grill come flying off, and boom, we're in sick bay. You just see the look of shock, I guess. Speaking of shock, what the heck are you people doing here? So there's actually quite an appropriate explanation for this. So perhaps we might be afforded the opportunity to elaborate upon our motivation for. Does he ever shut up? Paul McCoy has to put up with Spock, and now we got Beast talking the same. I'm not seeing that. No, I love it. I don't know. It's just great character development, seeing these two different worlds colliding and keeping their characters. Um, you're going to help Gambit? Of course I am. I'm a doctor. Damn it, not head of security. Right, this man needs medical attention. Nurse Chapel, I need. Oh, excuse me. 10 millimeters of. Oh, excuse me. God damn it. We don't have any patients. Right, Doctor McCoy. What? That's brilliant. I love that. Little brevity. As you know, Star Trek always have those little bits of little sly brevity in there without being too schlocky. But okay, according to Beast, there should be something of a shuttle bay in this direction. If there was another way around this, I got a great action shot of all the X-Men, still in the Enterprise shuttlecraft and making it down to the planet below. I'd gladly do it, but the truth of the matter is, this is essentially the X-Men's problem, and the fewer people are involved here, the better. And while that sounds quite logical, eminently logical, I must prevent you from accomplishing this particular task. That's the one from the bridge. He's called Spock. How'd you find us down here? And yeah, I became aware that someone on the ship had advanced psychic abilities in attempting to probe my thoughts. As no one currently serving on the Enterprise has such capabilities, I began looking for other life forms. I did not detect any, but I knew that this access way behind engineering, cloaked from cloak in the energy output of the dilithium crystals might prove a logical hiding place. So, yeah, Spock's using all these Vulcan logic to figure out what's going on. And wow, got this awesome shot of Wolverine. He says, "Sorry, bub, but we're on the clock here, and the X-Men ain't in the habit of answering to no one." Wolverine, no. Wow, that he's got no pupils, so you just see that that wild savage beast inside Wolverine. Don't worry, I won't hurt him much. Phase has gone flying, and bam, whacked him with the Vulcan nerve pinch, and just Wolverine goes down. That's pretty logical, actually, when you think about it, especially for Spock. But what did you do to him? It's called the Vulcan nerve pinch. Its effect on humans is only temporary. He'll remain unconscious for approximately. Boom, Wolverine's up. Fascinating. And it's called a healing factor, bub. It's just one of the fringe benefits of being a mutant. Mutant, as in the old Earth term for Homo sapien superior. It sounds about right to me, but unless you want to make me bob those pointy ears off yours, Mister Spock. Now would be a good time to take us to your leader. So he's just popped his bone claws. I really enjoyed the bone claw era of Wolverine. It just looked more badass, more savage. Now we switch back to Kurt, and we're going through his captain's log supplemental. After all but declaring intergalactic war on a desolate section of Federation space, the Shi'ar Empire sits in orbit around Delta Vega, waiting. So we've got the beautiful profile of Captain Kurt. Yeah, more exposition. And McCoy to Bridge. What is it now, Bones? I have my hands full up here. Actually, Jim, I've made some new friends down in sickbay who might be able to help you out. On my way. And before he can get out the door, boom, here are the X-Men. And once again, you can sort of the dynamic between the two worlds. All the Starfleet guys are all very regal. And yeah, the X-Men, like, they're all jacked superhero poses. And it just blends so well. Just that one. That's just an awesome shot of Wolverine again, and the X-Men and Bishop just a massive unit in the back. So now we've crossed over to our villains, and yeah, here we are, the Shi'ar warship, the bridge of the Shi'ar warship with Deathbird, and basically working out that there's the whole Captain Mitchell on the planet. So until an hour ago, Delta Vega was a fairly inhospitable planet, a former mining substation long ago abandoned and cornered off from Federation traffic routes. But that was before the landscape began its transformation into something more familiar. So we crossed down to Lieutenant Commander, not Captain. Goose. Visitors on their way. Good. We've been alone for too long. We've? So they're in their briefing room now, coming up with a plan of action. And bam! Captain! The sensors indicate that the rift is expanding again. That can't be a good sign. No. So now we've formulated a plan, and we're going to go down. I'm going to go stop this, but before that, so a moment later, after everyone has cleared the room, Captain Kurt, as a mutant, I was born with certain abilities, not the least of which is beauty, Phoenix. My husband Cyclops thinks so. Oh. Just, Captain Kurt can't help but be Captain Kurt. God. But anyway, I can sense things, read minds, and while I don't like to pry, it's clear to me, anyway, that there's something about this psychic rift that you're not sharing. It's classified information, but you'll probably need to know. Delta Vega is where my best friend was buried. In a way, he died by my hand. He had somehow acquired the ability to reshape reality in his mind. Gary couldn't be allowed to roam the galaxy with mutant powers. Is that the reason you to kill someone? And you see Kirk turn away and don't be unfair, Gene. I have no problems with mutants, with any sentient life form. It's omnipotent beings intent on destroying everything in their path that concerns me. I can understand that. It was the hardest thing I've ever had to do, to be honest. If in some way Gary returned, I don't know if I could do it again. So a very touching moment with Kurt and Jean Grey, just after he tried to hit on her. Okay, so now we've been down to the surface, English. I speak one language and I can barely do that, so forgive me. So once again, this is a great shot of Storm. It's very looking amazing. Same with all the X-Men, and we have our bridge staff that are just standing around as they do. But got another page here, but you must be referring to me and my Wind Rider, or should I say us. How gracious that you've decided to join our celebration. You see, Deathbird with her Imperial Guard here has offered us her Star Cruiser as a way for us to leave the planet once and for all. The fact that you're here at all only makes it easier so that we might at last take our proper place in the universe. It means we don't have to come looking for you. Gary, Proteus, friend of yours. So now, oh wow, that's awesome, awesome. So now we're. I don't want to spoil all this because it's such a great story. I recommend getting it. But so basically, we got a team up of Beast and Spock, and it can be as logical as you can expect. And the interaction with these characters is pretty great. But yeah. Mr. Spock, sir, I believe that we have the answer for that weird problem down here in engineering. So they've got to disperse all that energy, and Bishop is the way to do it. Look at the size of him compared to Scotty. So Proteus is force field. You presume too much, Deathbird, thinking that we needed an ally. So he's already turned on his new friends already before he even got off the planet. It's just silly. So now Gene is connected Captain Kurt's mind with Gary Mitchell's mind. So he's sort of reason, which is pretty much a Star Trek move. They try and work things out, using their mind more than sheer violence. So clever, Jim, using all the resources at your disposal. It's nice to know you haven't changed, but you have, Gary. You used to be a Starfleet officer. Life, respect for all life, used to mean something to you. Nice coming from you, Jim. Gene, did Jim tell you he's guilty of doing the very same thing you X-Men have fought against your whole lives? Pretty powerful. I did what I had to do because the power had corrupted you. Yes, I acted out of fear, but that fear was justified. Look at yourself, Gary. You and Proteus are out of control. And now Gene steps in and basically, part of the X-Men's goal is to protect mutants, Mr. Mitchell. But like the crew of the Enterprise, we go about our mission with our eyes wide open. And you can see he's just very forlorn. But out in the real world, why don't you creatures just curl up and die? Sorry, bub, it ain't our style. So, wow, this is a great. Got the Enterprise up here, and wow, you're tearing away the source of our energy. You're trying to tear us apart, but we won't allow that. We won't allow us to die again. And this is pretty. You're willing to hold on to life at the. Are you willing to hold on to life at the cost of your own humanity? No, Jim. Please stop me. Stop us now. Gary, I'm sorry. We had to do what he had to do. And yeah, with a single phaser blast, the combined force of the Enterprise and the X-Men together unleashed enough power at once to, with any luck, destroy a god. All of this will be for nothing, though, if Spock and the Enterprise are not successful. Mr. Scott, now that we've captured that sizable portion of the psychic rift, yeah, let's see what happens when we feed it right back into the beastie. Correct. So you got Bishop on the outside. He's just blasting away. And yeah, that was successful. So, unfortunately, there's nothing left of Gary Mitchell. Gary Mitchell. Sorry. Okay, so now we see our teams depart. Mission accomplished. Captain Kirk, the X-Men have more than a little experience in alternative futures, but none have offered the hope that you and your crew have presented to us. I just wanted you to know it's encouraging to believe that both humans and mutants have a future worth fighting for. I feel safe in saying that you and the sacrifices you people have made are a good part of the reason that we made it this far into as a race. We got this shot of the Enterprise. So, well, that was fun, wasn't it, Spock? Actually, I would classify it as more inspirational, Doctor. And then they bicker again. Gentlemen, please. Mr. Sulu, bring us out of orbit. Aye, Captain. Sulu. Aye, Captain. Where to, sir? To the future, Mr. Sulu. To the future. Well, there we have it. Star Trek X-Men. I highly recommend this one. If you're a fan of Star Trek and a fan of the X-Men, this was a lot of fun. Um, I can't recommend it enough. Check it out. It's pretty reasonably priced now. You should still be able to pick it up fairly cheaply and in good quality. Yeah, do yourself a favor. Check out Star Trek X-Men.